Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. In Kumasi, we're on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. We're on Gaskia FM in Techiman, KTU Radio in Koforidua, Clenham Radio in Bato, Ganga FM in Jirapa. You can go digital on Spotify. We are live on Facebook and also on my joyonline.com app. In this edition, pupils in parts of Accra have resorted to buying from the streets as a sit-down strike by caterers under the school feeding program begins to bite. We have details of that. We'll take you live on the ground, plus what's happening elsewhere, and also in this edition. Scores of unemployed nurses have hit the streets of Accra to demand their immediate postings by the Ministry of Health. We'll bring you details as they accuse the Health Ministry of corruption in the recruitment process.
Now we are begging money from our grandmothers. Look at my BS. Nurses, we don't grow BS, but look at my BS now. So how can a grown man like me be feeding from my mother and my grandmother? I have to beg before I eat.
We'll check on the situation. Also, emergency security council meeting underway in the Bono East region over the alleged murder of a native by police officers. The situation is generating tensions in the town. We have details of that. Also, 9-year-old whose hands were boiled in hot water by guardian undergoes surgery at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital.
In
the hot water. She held my hand in the water until it developed blisters. Then she used a razor blade to cut into the blisters.
We're live to our correspondent whilst that surgery takes off. Also, armed robbers resort to attacks on ambulances carrying sick persons. We hear from emergency service workers who say they fear to embark on that journey to save lives.
We suggest for a policy initiative to ensure a collaboration between the National Ambulance Service and the Ghana Police Service to provide police escorts for ambulances.
We also have sports.
The weight of your punishment is above the evidence adduced. Ash Gold and Interallies tell GFA as they appeal demotion to Division 2 over match fixing.
We have details of that also. We talk about NSMQ, where Bishop Herman College is banking on the experience of 2 second-year students who represented the school during the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz to qualify for this year's championship. That's coming up in the Volta Regional National Science and Maths Quiz Championship. We have details of that and more here on the Midday News. It's with me, Emefa Apawu. Please stay for details. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. What you hear there are scores of unemployed nurses. They've hit the streets of Accra today to demand their immediate postings by the Health Ministry. Now, they say the ministry is using backdoor approach in posting persons who completed school recently and leaving those who completed years ago.
Nothing. When we are coming, we are not coming in peace. We are not coming in peace. Yes. So please, they should do well and post us because we are hungry. We are tired. Now we are begging money from our grandmothers. Look at my BS. Nurses, we don't grow BS, but look at my BS now. So how can a grown man like me be feeding from my mother and my grandmother? I have to beg before I eat. Do I have to go and sell pure water? Do I have to go by day, take cutlass and go and read? What I have been trained as a professional nurse. I've gotten my clearance. What is next?
You pay school fees for 3 years.
When you go to school and you don't have school fees, the way principal will catch you. I remember one day, principal hold my distance that I should by forcefully bring my school fees.
Right now, sir, people that I access the portal with on the same day. Some have
they should do well and then
some
post
are
us.
people that we access the portal with on the same day. Just because they did this backdoor posting. Why do the backdoor?
Well, you hear there some nurses there interacting with my colleague Samuel Imbura. He's on the beat for us. He joins us live. Samuel, first, let's talk about the protest itself. What's the status of it?
nurses drawn from the nursing assistant, preventive nursing assistant, clinical, general registered nurses, and registered midwives who have completed their rotation and unemployed. At the moment, they are at the Ministry of Health demanding that their concerns should be dealt with. According to them, they have received clearance from the ministry for the past 3 years between 2019 and 2022. They have been promised several times without any action from the ministry, a reason they decided to hit the streets today.
Well, and we know that they've been accusing the Ministry of Health of corruption in the recruitment process. What evidence did they present to this effect?
Well, Emefa, some of them claim they were called by persons from the ministry demanding between 5,000 to 7,000 cities for posting, which they were not able to afford. But those who could afford, especially their juniors, have been recruited. But they have not given us any supporting documents that shows that they were really told to pay some amount of money. They are relying on purported calls from the ministry for the payment of certain amount before they could be posted.
And you mentioned they've presented a petition. What's actually in that petition?
They are asking that there should be immediate posting of the over 7,000 nurses that have completed their rotation and unemployed by the Ministry of Health. If this fails, they will be heading to Parliament to further petition so that they will lead the entire process for them to be posted.
And what's been the response of the Ministry of Health to these allegations, the protest, and also the petition in general?
Unfortunately, we do not have the minister himself responding to the protesters. They expected that they have had opportunity to meet the minister or the one in charge of the postings. However, the petition was received by the deputy director in charge of human resources, Lawrence Odate Lawson, who assured their petition will be addressed. But the nurses are not budging in at all. At the moment, they want the postings done today, else they are not leaving the ministry. But the ministry has been assuring that they will address them, which they say they have been engaging them and nothing comes out of that. So they are not going to budge in at all. But I must add that the security has been properly managed here by the Greater Accra Regional Police Command. We've not actually recorded any incident in the course of this process. So we are still at the Ministry of Health, where they have actually laid their posters and all that sitting on the floor with their placards, demanding that the minister should come out and talk to them before they can go.
That's my colleague Samuel Imbura there, reporting from the Ministry of Health. I'll stay on the streets, and this time pupils in parts of Accra have resorted to buying from the streets as a sit-down strike by caterers under the school feeding program begins to bite. School authorities who have spoken to Joy News on condition of anonymity say they have had to extend break hours to wait for some pupils who walk home to eat before they can continue academic work. My colleague Justice Bedu is in the Accra suburb of Mamprobi, where he's been visiting some schools and now joins us on the line. Justice, what did you notice? What actually is the situation on the ground?
So, Emefa, this is about the third school that I have been to in the Mamprobi area alone, Mamprobi and Choko in the Kole area. We had already gone to the Ni Ado Memorial School, and I'm currently at the Mamprobi Girls School, which is a cluster of schools that has a primary, I think 2 different primary schools, and then also a JHS here. And in all 3 schools that we've been to, the caterers haven't come in. And the head teachers who didn't agree to speak to me on camera say that they haven't been since school reopened last week. And it is tough for them. I've been here trying to, while the children came on break, and many of them I have seen have to actually walk home, those who live close, to be able to find food home to eat and then come back to school. Those who could also afford have been buying from the street right across the school. And the teachers who teach here tell me that over the last 1 week, what they've had to do is to sometimes wait because usually they would go on break for 30 minutes. And because it would take some students 45 minutes, sometimes to about an hour to get back, they would have to wait for them to come in before they could continue academic work. Emefa.
Concerning the school feeding program, since school reopening, I've not seen the caterers.
So is it that means the whole of this term, they've not gotten feeding as it's supposed to be?
Yes.
All right. So Currently, will you say the students are able to learn in class?
Well, the first 2 periods, they can concentrate. But immediately it's after 12 o'clock. Especially the lower primary children, they will be running home because of no food in the school. Well, I called her and she told me that they've not paid them.
They've not paid, okay.
Yeah, since they've not paid them, that's why they are also waiting for their money so that they can come and start.
That's the situation in another school there. Well, in the Upper West region, my colleague Rafiq Salam has this report.
Kitchens of the various basic schools in the Upper West region, majority of whom are makeshift structures, are being abandoned and deserted by the caterers. Members of the School Feeding Caterers Association decided effective today to boycott cooking services over what they described as inadequate school feeding grant. Here at the Tindamba Primary School, the old and jaded classrooms that have been converted into a kitchen are under lock and key. Headmaster of the Tindamba Primary A, Pin Panzaga, disclosed that the caterers came round this morning to tidy the kitchen and later informed him about their decision to suspend cooking services to the school. Mr. Payne juxtaposed the significance of the school feeding program on the pupils' education and the effects of its suspension.
Well, it has effects on them because from our locality here, most of the children come to school depending on this hot meal a day, so that they will have something to eat. Because when they are coming from home, most of them don't eat before they come. So once it's like this, by the time they are supposed to get the food, if they don't get it, the rest of the day becomes so difficult for them. They are not able to cope because of their hunger. And when that also happens, this also affects the rate at which they concentrate in class, and then it also affects their learning.
He added, in some schools, the pupils abandon classes upon realizing that there is no food for them.
Normally, we are supposed to close at 2 o'clock, but by 11:30, 12, most of the children are no longer with us.
Well, that's Rafiq Salam's report from the Upper West region. We know that the National School Feeding Secretariat is currently also still engaging with these caterers so that this action will be called off. We're following that closely and we'll bring you more. Let's turn our attention away from food, this time on security. And in the Bono East Regional Minister has summoned an emergency meeting over the Nkranza killing. The Bono East Regional Minister, Kwesi Dujan, summoned this meeting today, and we know that the youth there have been protesting the killing of a 28-year-old trader and footballer at Nkranza, Albert Akwesi-Donko. He was allegedly killed by the police on suspicion of being an armed robber. The youth of Nkranza had to call off that protest, we are told, to express their displeasure over the killing, as the Inspector General of Police, George Ekufu-Dampare, is expected to join the REGSEC in addressing the concerns raised by the youth. We can hear from the MCE for the area. He told Ohiming Terry of our security desk that it's too early to point accusing fingers over the death of Akwesi-Donko.
People are trying to take advantage of what has happened. We always have bad knacks amongst us. And so when issues of this nature erupts, they also take advantage and then do certain things.
And who are these people?
That are untold. I am talking about the bad knacks amongst us. The bad knacks. It is obvious that we have criminals in every society or community. And so when issues of such nature happens, they always take undue advantage and misbehave. You understand? But I can assure you, although there are some issues that are bordering with the security, specifically the police, we cannot confirm for now because there hasn't been any conclusive investigation with regards to the issue at hand. So I would just plead with anybody not to start pointing, accusing fingers on anybody until we arrive at the finality of the issue.
Well, my colleague Ohiming Terry, who's an Abit, joins us on the line. Ohiming, what's the latest on the situation?
Yes, Emefa, I can report that the emergency REGSEC meeting is ongoing to discuss the volatile security situation in Nkranza, which is actually Nkranza South Municipality of the Bono East region. And I'm also picking information that the regional minister, who is the chairman of RESEC, will lead other RESEC members, and the Inspector General of Police, George Akufu-Dampare, is also expected to join and then lead that delegation to Nkranza, where they will also meet with the traditional authorities and the youth here to discuss measures that they have put in place to ensure that the culprits involved in the alleged killing of Albert Donko Abros Tubuk. And then just a while ago, the Nkranza Traditional Council, led by the Omanhene of Nkranza, Nana Kwame Bafo the Fourth, met the press and then the youth who have been agitating and had wanted to hit the streets today. And then he pleaded with them to exercise caution and then restraint as they await the investigations by the police into the matter. Just after the meeting, we had the opportunity to interact with him one-on-one, and what he told me is that he wished that the IGP would take particular interest in this matter and resolve it amicably. If not, he himself and the other residents of Nkranza, they are not secure because there's this state, the feeling of the state of insecurity among residents of Nkranza because they don't know who to trust. If the allegations are anything to go by, then their life is actually in danger. Emefa.
Well, it turns out that Kwesi Donko is not only known by the MP. You've been interacting with the MC also, Daniel Oredu. It turns out that the deceased is his former JHS student. He's also been appealing to the youth. What exactly is he saying?
Yes, according to Mr. Daniel Oredu, Kwesi Donko is somebody he taught at JHS. So even when they showed him his picture, he couldn't identify him. He said he's a very fine gentleman and is a good person and give good testimony of the gentleman. The same way Nana Nkranza Mahini has also given about Kwesi Donko. We can take a listen to the MC, Daniel Oredu.
For now, we haven't had much strange issues. In fact, all the conveners are friends. Some of them I taught, some of them are relatives. So we've had it cool with them. Just that the issues that I have been discussing with them, sometimes when they meet you, media people, becomes different. But it's been cool with them. And I trust my brothers that they are even interested in the peace more than some of us. The conveners and the youths. Some of them are very much interested in the peace. You heard what they told you this morning when you met them. They said they are aware that some badness are amongst them. You told me that, right? So they know that if they don't contain the situation, some badness will take advantage, undue advantage for that matter, and misbehave. So they themselves are also protecting the security in conjunction with the music.
Well, so that's the MC for Nkranza, the Municipal Chief Executive for Nkranza South, Daniel Oredu there. From the Bono East region, let me take you to the Ashanti region now, and the battle to save the hand of a 9-year-old girl whose guardian immersed her hands in boiling water over 2 Ghana cedis continues at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. Plastic surgeons led by Dr. Emil Tano are expected to go into a second round of surgery today with little Stephanie. We hear from Love FMC Rasta Sasari Donko, who broke the story first. First, though, here excerpts of his first report.
Looking weak, frail, and in pain, Stephanie sports a left hand in bandages and open wounds on 2 fingers on her right hand. Stephanie was named after the husband of her alleged abuser, Ellen Sewa, due to his benevolence. The Pentecost Church elder, Stephen Nketia, requested to bring her over to stay with his family. The child speaks of persistent caning and starving until late last month when she took 2 Ghana cedis to buy food.
On Friday,
with anxiety in her eyes, she tells me how she was punished by her stepmom.
In
the hot water. She held my hand in the water until it developed blisters. Then she used a razor blade to cut into the blisters.
Well, Erastus Asaridonko joins us with more from the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital on that surgery. First, Erastus, tell us about how she's been doing after the first surgery.
So the first surgery went well, according to the plastic surgery team. They were able to separate the fingers that were clenched together. And so now the fingers are straight and they've been divided. Now, she's been feeling weak and has not been eating properly since the first surgery. It looks like she tells me that she's not in the mood to eat. So we've been trying to encourage her to eat something. And due to that, she has to get blood transfusions for the second surgery, which is expected to happen today.
Well, ahead of that, I'm sure you've been interacting with the medical team. How hopeful are they about the success of the second surgery?
So the second surgery is expected to take some flesh from a part of the body and do skin grafting of the palm of the fingers and other part of the hand that has lost so much tissue to be able to try to save the hand. So that will be the focus of the second surgery today.
And in all this, how are these surgeries being funded?
So we've had some support from Nature Aid, which is an NGO. One Mr. Barado has helped pay some of the medications that we bought. The man whose wife did that to the girl has also paid part of the surgery as well. We've had Mensin Gold, Baby also coming in to support the team with some funds as well.
Well, that's my colleague Erastus Asaridonko there reporting from the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. A good time for a quick breather here on the Midday News. We're live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, also on Love Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. We've been talking about pupils in part of Accra resorting to buying from the street as a sit-down strike by caterers under the school feeding program begins to bite hard. When we return, we have sports and then also armed robbers. We'll talk about National Science and Maths quiz also, where Bishop Herman College is banking on the experience of 2 second-year students who represented the school during the 2021 National Science and Maths quiz to qualify for this year's championship.
Hey, Efo, what brings you to my house this early morning? I hope all is well.
All is never well with me or my brother. After paying 3 times for the land for my project, the construction workers are giving me wahala. From material overestimation to small steering and excuses from artisans. Charlie, I'm tired though. Works that can be done in 2 weeks are done over 2 months. I have to pay them whether the work is good or not.
I told you so, Efo.
It's all because you're trying to become builders when you're corporate workers and business people. Edlom has products tailored to meet your needs. Villas 3 at Amrahia, where there are finished homes with very flexible payment terms. For more information, please visit edlomhousing.com. Send an email to sales@edlomhousing.com or simply call 0270-166-166. Edlom Housing, where spacious and quality homes cost less.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Time for sports.
Emefa, you would on Monday, the Ghana Football Association demoted Ashanti Gold and Inter Allies to Division 2 for their involvement in match fixing. Well, the two clubs have appealed the decision of the National Committee of the Football Governing Body, insisting that the weight of the punishment imposed on the club is above the evidence adduced. Both clubs say that the GFA could not establish the fact that the game was fixed and that betting actually took place in the game. So they felt that the decision of the Football Governing Body to demote them and ban some officials of the two clubs is unfair. So they've officially submitted their appeals to the Football Association.
Thank you very much, Muftau. Now, emergency workers in Ghana are asking for the provision of police escort for ambulances and other emergency vehicles. It follows recent robbery attacks on some of them. The latest attack occurred in Zebila in the northern region, where robbers attacked an ambulance transporting a patient from the Presbyterian Hospital in Boko to the Tamale Teaching Hospital. There's more in this report.
Following the Zebila District Ambulance Office attack on May 11th this year, the Emergency Medical Technologies Association of Ghana, MTAG, is seeking that the government provides police escort in their line of duty. At a press briefing here in Accra, the group said about 13 attacks have been reported, but authorities have expressed little seriousness towards the matter. Michael Ghani is the president of the association.
Till date, the state is not able to comprehend a single fly. There are about 13 documented incident attacks. We suggest for a policy initiative to ensure a collaboration between the National Ambulance Service and the Ghana Police Service to provide police escort for ambulances.
The group also appeals for the approval of its proposed risk allowance and full disclosure of a patient's medical issues as it discusses the dangers of the job.
We therefore want to appeal to all health facilities to be fair with us about patients' conditions and disclosed every bit of information to us. We are appealing to the collaborating key stakeholders such as the Ministry of Health and the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to expedite action on our issues to bring respite to our members. The approval of the proposed risk allowance for EMTs.
Deputy General Secretary of the Health Services Workers Union, Patricia Cheneboa, called for investigations into the incident and for perpetrators to be brought to book.
And that's a pre-course report read to you. And did I say Zebila is in the northern region? I beg your pardon, it's in the upper east region. Now off to the central region, and an Elmina-based radio station, Benya FM in the central region, has been attacked on Monday by unknown people. According to reports, the radio station was discussing matters of non-availability of premixed fuel and how those who are not fishermen were giving the product to the detriment of fishers who need it. According to eyewitnesses, in the middle of the discussion, some muscularly built men stormed the station, disrupted the discussion, pulled down some equipment and beat up the presenter. Richard Gojonyako is following up on that for us. We'll bring you more subsequently. And students of the Bishop Herman College say the experience of 2 second-year students who represented the school at the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz Competition will help them qualify for this year's championship. The two, now in their final year, are representing the school again as they face competition from 3 other institutions, although considered one of the best schools in the Volta region after Ola Girls. Well, we have more in this report.
Bishop Herman College made it to the 1/8 stage of last year's National Science and Maths Quiz competition. And this other college kicked them out of that competition. Osenchi 2 SHS was also in that contest. But here at the Mauli School, the gentlemen from Mauli School are determined to make it for the national championship this year and also go beyond the 1/8 stage, which for some time now has been a challenge for them. Your expectations ahead of this contest?
We brought with us a very great expectation. We are here to win, and then we are going to win by a very huge margin. So we are coming to this year's contest with vim. So the other schools should watch out for Bishop Herman College.
Your colleagues are saying that it's always the 1/8 stage for you, and this time you want to go beyond the 1/8 stage.
Yeah, surely. This year we'll cross the 1/8 stage and then we'll move on to further stages.
Your expectations ahead of this one.
And that's from the Volta region. That's the regional championship of the Science and Maths Quiz. Next is Kofi Fort with Showbiz.
Now wake up in the morning and my hair is all a mess.
Ghanaian singer Adoma, who is well known for her music mashup, The Evolution of GH Music, has let fans in on why she quit music. She sat with Apawu TV and explained that she had to endure bad experiences so much that it affected her mental health.
I knew I was a singer. I enjoyed what I was doing, but I was like, this person says do this, so okay, I'll do it. After a while, it just got very, very stressful. I got into some very weird deals with some people that were supposed to help promote the music, and it went really bad, and it started to affect my mental health to the point where if I ever tried to perform or sing, I would have a panic attack. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I can't come and kill myself.
Adoma, who has been noted for her brilliant role in TV series Dede, is however preparing to come back with some more music.
That's Kofi for Shove is ending today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. On myjoyonline.com, there's more news. And Baka Voma were taken to East Legon police cells over careless and inconsiderate driving. Also, he says, I've been arrested 3 times in the year over my activism, but our work continues, Baka Voma says. And then also affiliating grade C schools with A idea is lazy planners' approach to addressing quality. Professor of Educational Leadership. We have that and more on myjoyonline.com. Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil is up next. I am Emefa Apawu. Many thanks for your company.